So what if our entire patent system, the way we think about inventions, is just wrong? Especially when we're trying to solve the biggest problems on the planet. Today, we're going to dig into a really fascinating proposal that suggests a totally new way to look at innovation, one that splits the science that helps everyone from the technology that makes a few people rich.
Okay, so this one quote, it's pretty much the core of the entire idea. It's saying we should start treating science as a public good, something generic that belongs to all of us. And technology? Well, that's the specific, branded stuff you build with that science. Let's really break down what that split looks like.
And the people who wrote this aren't just thinking in hypotheticals. This whole framework is designed as a direct answer to extinction-level threats. The stakes are about as high as they can get, which makes this whole proposal feel pretty urgent, doesn't it?
So how would this actually work? The source breaks it down into a new two-part system for patents and intellectual property, and it all starts with this one key distinction. So on one side, you have what they're calling generic patents. Now, this isn't about a specific gadget or product. It's about fundamental knowledge, the kind of discovery that raises the tide for everyone. The whole point here is that this is the path to shared human prosperity, to making sure that core knowledge is open to everybody. And then on the other side of the coin, you have branded patents. This is where things like capitalism and competition kick in. It's all about taking that shared science and using it to build something unique, something you can sell. And as the source says, pretty bluntly, the system isn't for prosperity, it's for riches.
And boom, this slide just lays it all out perfectly. You can really see that intentional separation. You've got one system aiming for collective good through foundational knowledge, and the other one aiming for private wealth through applied products. It's a really clear split in both the mission and the final result. Okay, I know this might still feel a little abstract, so the document uses a super simple, everyday example to make this whole thing click. Let's talk about something like a face cream. The generic science is the basic chemistry of how you mix oil and water to make an emulsion. That's universal knowledge, right? The branded technology is when a company takes that basic cream, adds its own secret patented ingredients, and then sells it as some unique, amazing new product. One is the foundation, and the other is the very specific thing you build on top of it. So, okay, we've got these two different systems, one for public prosperity, the other for private profit. But can they actually work together? Well, the source argues yes, they can, and it suggests a pretty surprising way to connect them. And this really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If these two systems have what seem like completely opposite goals, how in the world could you ever get them to work together? Is there some kind of common ground that can bridge that huge gap? And the answer that's proposed is cymatics. Yeah, I know, that might feel like it's coming out of left field. Cymatics is the study of how sound and vibration create visible patterns in matter. Sand on a plate, water, you name it. The idea here is that at the most basic level, everything is just vibration. And if you can understand the rules of how vibrations create form, that's the generic science, then you can apply them to create very specific things. That's the branded technology. So think about it like this. The universal laws of vibration are like the basic recipe for that cream we talked about. But a very specific frequency that organizes cells in a unique way to fight a disease, that would be the branded application. Cymatics is presented here as the fundamental language that connects the universal rule to this specific patentable invention. So all of this, the generic science, the branded tech, and this wild idea about cymatics as a bridge, it's all building up to one ultimate destination, a total reinvention of our patent system. And here it is. The end goal is a whole new model they're calling cymatics-based community unitary patents. And that word right in the middle, community, that's the key. This is a system designed from the ground up to be more collaborative, to be focused on our collective benefit, especially when we're facing down huge global threats. This new model is basically a triage system for global innovation. It's designed to focus our energy on our biggest threats, in order. So first on the list, infectious diseases. Then you move up to more complex, chimera virus-based pandemics. And finally, the biggest one of all, the existential threat of mass extinction. And this right here might be the most crucial part. The authors are arguing that when a real crisis hits, the normal rules of intellectual property just have to go out the window. During an emergency, patents for things that can save lives shouldn't be branded for profit. They should be open, generic, and public for the good of every single person on Earth. So this leaves us with a really provocative question to chew on.
It makes you wonder if our current systems for ownership and innovation are really built for the challenges we face today, and if maybe, just maybe, the answer could lie in a completely new way of looking at discovery itself.